Hi guys, Mendocino Vino here, ready for wine number 20 of the Wine Folly Challenge, Cava. The Wine Folly Challenge is where I try all 86 grapes and 14 wines featured in the Wine Folly Magnum Edition. First alone and then paired with food. Cava is Spain's sparkling wine, although it doesn't hold the same esteem in society as Champagne does for France. Cava was originally conceived in the 1860s by Don Jose Reventos after he traveled to Champagne to sell Spanish wines. He saw what they were doing and became pretty curious about it, wanted to try it out himself. Originally it was called Zampany or Champagne, but they decided it was different enough from Champagne to warrant its own name, and came up with Cava, which is Catalan for cave or cellar. Now, there are a couple different methods for making sparkling wine. You don't have to choose just one. However, to be called Cava, you do have to use a traditional method, which is the same method they use in Champagne. So the winemakers bottle a dry, still, low alcohol wine, and then they add a little bit of yeast and a little bit of sugar, cap it off, let those things go to work. So the yeast eats the sugar, converts it to alcohol and CO2. Because of the cap on it, it is built up inside of the bottle. And then the yeast dies, creating the lees. So when you hear sur lie, that means the wine is aged on those dead yeast cells. And those yeast cells are actually pretty delicious, despite the fact it sounds kind of gross. It gives it a sort of nutty, toasty flavor. So when things are aged sur lie, depending on the length of time it spends on sur lie, you'll get more of those flavors or less of those flavors. And that's not always about quality, it's also about kind of what the winemaker wants and what the winemaker is going for. Cava can range in sweetness level and time spent on the lees. So if something says Reserva, it means it has spent at least 15 months on the lees, and Gran Reserva means it spent at least 30 months on the lees. Cava can also only be made from 7 different grape varietals. I have not memorized them, so they should be appearing here. My bottle today,
Segura, Viudas, Reserva, Heredad, Cava, Brut, is a non-vintage sparkling wine from Penedes, Spain. Over the years, Segura Viudas has earned a reputation as one of the top producers of Cava. The estate that houses this winery dates back to the 11th century, but it only became a winery in 1959. Penedes is a Spanish denominación de origen protegida. The area is framed by the coastal hills of the Garraf Massif and the higher inland mountains which skirt the Central Depression. Penedes is considered to be one of the country's best wine-producing regions after Rioja, and is also one of the most ancient viticulture areas in Europe.
as you can see, it is a very fancy-looking bottle, one of the fanciest-looking bottles I've ever seen. I love the little bottom thing here. Probably going to use it as a vase when I'm done with it. So this was actually aged in bottle on the lees for more than 30 months, but it's only labeled as Reserva instead of Gran Reserva because it is a non-vintage wine, meaning it has wine from many different years put together in the bottle, versus Gran Reserva has to be a vintage. So without further ado, let's get started. So I would say pale yellow to straw color on here. Let's see what this smells like. Lime, green apple. I am getting some of that kind of almond, sort of a toasted note on here for sure. Yeah, I think final call, green apple, lime, and almond. All right, let's try it out now. I actually really like that. I am not a champagne person. I wish I was, but I'm not. Yeah, kind of a lime quality to it. Nice mouthfeel though. Easy drinking, actually, surprisingly for me. Almost like a honeycomb quality. Again, not a sweet wine, but a little bit of that honey, almond, lime type of thing on there. It's funny because because I don't like sparkling wine, I'm not sure what other people would think of about this wine, but I like it because it's not terribly in your face. It's kind of a relaxed dish. I think it'll be very food friendly. Yeah. I don't know, let's try it with food. See how it goes. Today I have some chili. Strangely, or unusually I should probably say, one of the recommendations in the Wine Folly Magnum Edition was to pair Cava with chili. So I figured, why not? Let's try it out. Also made some cornbread. Didn't have baking powder, used baking soda instead. It came out okay. I will confess that I made this yesterday and I'm eating it again today. Came out quite good though. Excited to see how it pairs with the Cava. Let's see how it tastes. It's kind of like having a lime slice and squirting it over the chili. That kind of hit of acid, but you're getting it from the wine. But yeah, goes very nicely. Huh. Look at that. So, for my final thoughts on the matter, I really like this wine. I think it pairs gorgeously with this chili. Still surprised by that, but yeah, it goes great with it. I bet it would go great with a lot of other types of food as well, so definitely recommend if you're looking for a sparkling wine that pairs well with food, and it's also a cheaper price point than champagne. Cava's very tasty. I do foresee, or maybe I could foresee, that Cava could be something that continues to increase in popularity as people seek a cheaper alternative to champagne. I definitely recommend trying it out if you are a sparkling wine person, or if you're just having chili, or just sort of want something a little bit different. This is Mendocino Vino. Hope to see you guys again next week. Chin chin.